Hi, everybody, and yes, it's a Monday, and we are going to start today's episode of Learn This Deck with the Dreaming Way Tarot. And the card we're going to look at is card number 20 from the Major Arcana, the Judgment card. And yes, we are very close to the end of the Major Arcana. Isn't that interesting? So, let's look at the card, the image, and try to figure out what the story of this card is all about. First off, environment. There's really nothing going on, there's just clouds, which is nice, which is interesting, which probably suggests that these two angels in the picture are maybe floating in those clouds, right? So what are they doing? What I mean, these guys are flying. They have these green wing things, and they've got trumpets, and they're blowing on these trumpets. So, in terms of symbolism, the angels obviously are divine beings, so they can suggest a divine connection. And trumpets. Now, trumpets, I googled it. There's a whole lot of stuff out there. A lot of biblical, connections with the Bible and stuff. But here's the thing, trumpets, they make music, and through the music, you're conveyed many things, maybe messages from the divine, especially because these trumpets are being played by these angel beings. So we have messages from the divine coming in via these trumpets. And if you remember, many times, say movies, stories, and all these big productions often are they begin and end with the sound of trumpets. Traditionally, that's how it happens, right? So that way, the trumpets can herald in a beginning and an ending of a big thing or an event or a situation. So that is an interesting symbolism that I found out, for the trumpets. So, what does the LWB have to say? Now, the LWB is really very detailed and has gone like very much in depth, I would say, with this, because there's a whole lot of stuff from here. So I'm just going to read it out. Uh, Past situations that have already been judged and can't be changed. So this card depicts situations which have already happened, has already been judged, and they are not changeable. So it's all gone and done and sorted. But somewhere you have to deal with it. I think that's the energy here. Right. So that's what the next bit is. There's no choice but to accept the results. Right. So whatever's happened, it's all done, and you have no choice. You have to accept what's happened. Right. It's easier if you let go of the burden of condemnation or guilt. So whatever has happened in the past that you are now being, that's you don't have a choice, but you have to let go. So it goes easier if you don't feel guilty about it, or if you don't feel that you've become, that you've been condemned or victimized or whatever, any sort of, I would say, negative feeling that is associated with the situation that you're letting go of. These past mistakes are now behind you, and you are now having a chance for a new beginning. That is what this card is basically implying. That is probably the message that these angels with the trumpets are saying. They are heralding in that that period maybe where this change is happening, or it's going to happen, or it's about to happen, or it's supposed to happen. That, listen, all the stuff that you have gone through, all the negative stuff that you have associated with it, and sometimes yes, even the positive stuff, happiness and sadness, all of it, it's already sorted, it's already done. Now let it go and move on, right? Including whether it's your mistakes or whatever, everything is now behind you, and you now have a chance for a fresh new beginning in your life. Grab that chance and take it. All right, so that's what the LWB said. All the meanings of that LWB sort of said to me. So what were my keywords? Yep, beginnings and ends of big life cycles. Now compare this with, I would say, the Wheel of Fortune, for instance, which often talks about cycles, beginning and ending. But Wheel of Fortune is not talking about the beginning and ending. It's talking about a transition. It's talking about the results that come in from various different cycles that maybe you're going through. But here we have a beginning and an end of a major life cycle. Again, compare that with the death card also, which talks about changes. One thing ends, new thing begins. But there can be many beginnings and many endings in a single cycle of life. So Judgment card, it comes, if you see the whole journey of the major arcana, this is the second to last card. So you can imagine it's like if the fool were to journey from card number 0 to card number 20, he has to go through all those cards in between to come to where he is at. So there may be many changes, many transitions, many beginnings, many endings, but this right here is the big one. It's a big life cycle that begins and ends. Now, judgment, yes, divine messages. So this could be even intuitive messages or dream messages or messages from your subconscious, but these are really deep, heavy messages. That could be so much symbolism in these messages. It'll take you a while to sort of make sense of it. Yes, this card is also about a sign from the universe. And yes, this card is about moving on and letting go. So what happens when you take this card and you reverse it? Okay? Reverse, it can show that there are delays or obstacles in these cycle changes, right? So for some reason or the other, something is not quite yet in place. You may really be looking forward to this big life change, or you may want that kind of life change to happen, but because see the direction of the trumpets, it's now in the opposite direction. It's going back into the sky, not down to the ground where regular people are living, from the angel's point of view. So yes, the messages are not necessarily reaching. Yeah, that's the second bit. They are either unheard or ignored or misinterpreted. So the messages that come from the universe or from the divine can go unheard, they can be ignored, or they can be completely misinterpreted by human beings. Okay? And third one, either you are unable or unwilling to let go and move on. So, when I had to write the card story, this is what happened. I said, okay, let me, you know, get into the head of the angel being. That's kind of what happened. So here's the story that came. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Tell me. Show me with your actions, your deeds, your words. Show me that you heard the message from the universe and then follow that message. Do what you're meant to do with it. This may look like just a job for you, but I take my job very seriously. Unless you take charge of your life and make it better, no one, not even the universe, can step in and make it better for you. So, it was me in the head of that angel with the trumpet there. And basically, this angel seemed like, did you hear the message that came in, and well, do something with it, unless you take charge of this life you have, and you apply all the messages that the universe keeps sending to you. Unless you take all of that and do something good with it, you can't make your life better. You can't just sit in one place and say, oh universe, make my life better, unless you work hard for it, unless you also put in some effort into the process. It ain't gonna happen. So that was the message that the angel from the judgment card, I guess, wanted to send out into the world. So that was the card story. What was your card story? What was your journal entry like? Go ahead and post a picture of your journal or just the card, whatever you're comfortable with. Post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, on Twitter. Use the hashtag LearnThisDeck so I can find you and you can find me, and we can like each other's stuff, and we can share each other's knowledge, and basically get together like this and learn this deck. All right. I will see you again tomorrow with the next card, which is the World card. So up until then, be good, learn this deck. Bye now.